Hello everyone, this is my vocabulary lesson. My teacher objective is to determine the meaning of the new word formed when a new prefix is added to a known word. Example, happy, unhappy, or tell, retell. We're going to review today using sentence level context as a clue to the meaning of a word or phrase. And each student will be given a copy of a short story with incomplete sentences. The learner will fill in the blank with the word from the word bank using sentence context clues. One group at a time will be called to read a sentence out loud, and the teacher will ask the class if they agree or disagree, and then the teacher will ask them what clues give them that word. When did they pick that word? Okay. And then after this, the teacher will read the corrected copy for the class. Okay, so overview, purpose, and importance is understanding the meaning of prefixes and how they function will help the student to break down a larger word and to understand the meaning of an unfamiliar word. Continuity, past. Yesterday, the students learned to predict the meaning of a word by its context within a sentence. Today, students will learn to identify commonly used prefixes and how to predict word meanings using the prefixes. And tomorrow we will continue to learn about prefixes. Okay. And the objective is determine the meaning of the new word when a known prefix is added to a known word. Okay. And we're going to watch a video on YouTube for motivation. Can you start it? Alright, after the video, the teacher will remind students that a root word is a single word that can no longer be broken down into smaller parts, and that a prefix is part of the word that is always attached to the front of the word, and the prefix will change the meaning of the root word. Okay, the teacher will model on the board three prefixes to be learned today, writing an example of each. I'll tell students the prefix we're going to learn today are considered the not family because they all have a meaning in common. Example is happy or unhappy, where unhappy means not happy. Okay, and these are the three words that I will put on the board. For and untie. I will get them to pronounce this for me. Ask them, to say it and then untie. Invisible. Impossible. Okay. Each of these prefixes change the meaning of the word by making it do the opposite. Give me examples of a word that we can make opposite by adding one of these prefixes. So I will ask the students this, and maybe that way I can assess their background knowledge also of prefixes and their meanings. Okay, we'll do this with several examples. Okay, and I will say, now I'm going to show you how to use the parts of a word to figure out the meaning of the word. And so on the board I will model how to break the word apart using a slash. separating the prefix from the root word. Okay, here's an example. I'm going to put a slash, unfair. Now I ask the class, how many parts does this word have in it? 2. They're un and fair. Okay, so then I can ask them what un means, and they'll say it's not or the opposite. And what does fair mean? And then you put them together, and it's not fair is the meaning. Okay, now repeat this process for each prefix. And also I will point out mistakes that can be made with words that do not really have prefixes. Example is uncle, where the un isn't really a prefix, is part of the actual word. And you can put a slash in there and see that the CLE is not a real word, so that would be my example for a non-example. Okay, and my behavioral objective was to be able to identify the meaning of frequently used prefixes and derive word meanings from the word part clues with 85% accuracy. Okay, now for my activity, the teacher will model the game Prefix Bingo. So I'll show them how to do this, and it's a chart, a bingo chart, and it has different prefixes and words with prefixes in the little squares, and the teacher will read clues for them to match on their charts. An example of that would be what word means the opposite of wise, and they would mark or put some kind of little object on the square that says unwise. Okay, so the student marks the square that says unwise. Do this until the group bingos, and then repeat this 4 or 5 times, so each group can go a couple times. And each student will have one, but I was going to divide them into groups so they can kind of cooperate and do it together, and it'd be like a team game. Okay, so then I will read a short passage for each of the prefixes, and certain words will be highlighted as the target words for the lesson. The learner will be placed in small groups, and each group will be given a target word. Each group will also be given a poster. And on the poster, they will write one of our target words. Okay, and here's an example of one. And the whole group can work on a large poster. Okay, so the word will be inactive. So they will separate the prefix from the root word. So you got in and active. Okay, and then you would have a sentence from our story, which was Jill was inactive, and they would predict the meaning of that, and then look it up in the dictionary, and so write the dictionary meaning down. And each group can put it on the we can put it on the wall. And here is one of the short stories. Jill was inactive. She didn't like to run. She didn't like to swim. To her, exercise was impossible. It was inconvenient. She exercised irregularly. Jill knew she was being irresponsible. It is healthy to be active. Jill decided to try softball. She liked to throw. She liked to catch. She could learn to hit a ball with a bat. Jill joined the team. She learned that she liked to run the bases when she made a hit. It was illogical because Jill didn't like to run, but it seemed different. Jill learned that she liked to play softball. She might like a different sport too. So this is a short story with, well, it has N and M in it also. And I have one for un and a couple different stories, and then target words. Okay, and so for closure, I'm going to let them do a craft activity, and this is what it's going to look like. So each person will be given, a prefix will be put on the inside of the turkey, and they will, on the feathers, they'll put they'll look for words that have that prefix for the feathers here, and they'll glue it together and color it and put it on the wall. Okay, and then for homework, I'll give them a fill-in-the-blank worksheet where they'll match the prefix words with a sentence. Okay. Early finishers will be able to play a board game. And here is a copy of the board game. Really cute. So they will, start. They will have the cards, and if they answer the cards correctly, they get to move, and they can, keep going until, and then they can see who gets there the quickest. If there's more than one of them, they can be in a group. Okay, for the special needs, the teacher or the para will work with the students by going over each prefix. Work with them on a worksheet matching the prefix with its meaning. For ELLs, the teacher will work with them on the individual sounds and meanings of the prefixes and the root words, paying close attention to N and M as they may sound alike, and also watch for words that have the same meaning but are spelled a little differently in Spanish. Okay, so remediation is group these students and read them the passages containing the target words. Go through the words to see if they know the meaning of the words, see if they can identify the different parts of the word, make sure they know the meaning of the root word, and if they don't, I can help them look it up in the dictionary. And for enrichment, they can either volunteer as a peer tutor, or they can write their own short story using prefixes. All right, that's it. Thank you.